Hydrogen has long been promised as the clean energy of the future. While there are few hydrogen cars in the market, they seem far from being mainstream. That is mainly because of the cost and the lack of infrastructure. And that seems like a chicken and egg problem. But hydrogen cars are still advancing. That is because they could be the key to decarbonizing some very big parts of the economy that cannot really be electrified. If you are interested in cars, you may already know that fuel cells for cars have been the subject of research for years. But very few fuel cell cars have actually been produced for consumer use. Most electrified vehicles have been battery electric cars. That includes vehicles from electric car market leader Tesla. Tesla's CEO Elon Musk has famously called fuel cells, fool cells. If you live in California or Japan, you probably already know that there are some hydrogen cars on the road. These cars are the Toyota Mirai and the Honda Clarity. But very few of these cars have been sold. And, although there are some hydrogen fueling stations, the number is still below 100 in California. But that meager achievement has not stopped future plans for hydrogen cars. Honda canceled its Clarity model in 2021. But it has now announced that it will return to the hydrogen car market in 2024. So, somebody still has confidence in hydrogen. This video continues our coverage of energy as it relates to business, finance and economics. What does it mean for how we will get our energy in the future? What does it mean for the economy? And, what does it mean for the future of the United States? But, before we get into all of that, please press the like button and leave us a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Honda is making a big push for powertrain electrification. And the centerpiece of this effort will include US-oriented hydrogen fuel cell cars. The automaker has announced that it will begin US production of hydrogen fuel cell vehicles in 2024. The first model will be based on the current generation Honda CR-V. And it will feature a plug-in hybrid powertrain. This new Honda CR-V model will enable pure electric driving. And it will achieve the goal of zero emissions driving for longer trips. Most details of the hydrogen-powered CR-V have not yet been released. But Honda has committed to announce more details sometime closer to the 2024 product launch. Honda is only willing to offer a sneak peek at the power plant for the new car. Currently, the Honda CR-V is available as a conventional hybrid model. And, of course, with a gas engine and no plug-in capability. The new model is part of a larger zero-emissions electrification strategy by Honda. Honda has committed to completely drop combustion engine vehicles by 2040. By then, the full Honda product line will use a mix of pure EVs and fuel cell cars. New battery electric vehicles will also be offered starting in 2024. Honda has also committed to manufacture the fully electric Prologue SUV in 2024. Currently, Honda sells the electric Honda E subcompact car. But that model is not yet sold in the United States. Honda has committed to achieving carbon neutrality by 2050. The big question mark here is whether or not there will be consumer demand for the fuel cell SUV. Hydrogen cars have not gained much traction in the United States. If you compare fuel cell vehicles to battery electric vehicles, the latter are winning the race. One big reason for that is a lack of hydrogen infrastructure, especially filling stations. Honda canceled production of its fuel cell-based Clarity sedan in 2021. The Honda Clarity sedan was priced at $71,200 and consumer demand was weak. And it is entirely unclear whether customers will present more demand in 2024. By then, the price of battery electric vehicles is expected to decrease. That, together with improved range, will undoubtedly drive consumer demand. And, if you follow this channel, you already know that Honda is not the only car company working on hydrogen cars. Nor are fuel cells the only approach to a hydrogen powertrain. Now, we are hearing that German car giant Volkswagen has produced an amazing new hydrogen car. This new hydrogen car has a range of 2,000 kilometers. That is an amazing range for any car. The new hydrogen car can travel an amazing 2,000 kilometers with a single tank of hydrogen. Volkswagen has been developing a new fuel cell for cars. Their new fuel cell is much cheaper than the current ones. Volkswagen has applied for a patent on the new hydrogen fuel cell. This is a major shift in the position that Volkswagen usually takes regarding hydrogen. Just like Elon Musk, Volkswagen downplays the potential of hydrogen. Volkswagen CEO Herbert Diess denied the potential of hydrogen for electric cars in a tweet in May 2022. "It has been shown that the hydrogen car is not the solution to climate problem," said Volkswagen CEO Herbert Diess. This development also demonstrates that Volkswagen does not want to give up on the hydrogen powertrain. Rather, it works outside the public eye on the development of the hydrogen fuel cell. Battery electric cars, like Tesla, store the energy in a huge battery. Then, they release the energy into electric motors to drive the wheels. And, when the energy in the battery is used up, then the battery needs to be recharged. Tesla owners can recharge at a Tesla supercharger. But, many electric car owners recharge at home. By contrast, hydrogen fuel cells actually generate their own electricity. The energy is basically stored in the hydrogen and oxygen from the atmosphere. So hydrogen cars need a high-pressure tank that stores the hydrogen. And the hydrogen fuel cell creates electricity by allowing the hydrogen to react with oxygen from the air. Fuel cells also have a positive terminal, anode, and a negative terminal, cathode, just like batteries. Hydrogen enters through the anode. Then it passes through an electrolyte membrane. The membrane divides hydrogen molecules, H2, into a proton, H+, and an electron, E. An electrolyte inside the fuel cell causes the proton and the electron to take different paths to the cathode. The electrons travel via an external circuit, creating a flow of electricity. Once the electricity is created, it flows to the motors via wires. The protons pass through the electrolyte to the cathode. The protons then unite with oxygen. Oxygen comes directly from the outside air to the cathode. The chemical reaction of protons and oxygen creates water. The water is just released onto the ground. The new fuel cell from Volkswagen and Kraftwerk uses a new kind of membrane. Existing hydrogen cars from Hyundai and Toyota use plastic membranes. The Volkswagen Kraftwerk fuel cell uses a ceramic membrane. The new fuel cell generates heat that can replace the heating and air conditioning system. That saves energy. This technology is an alternative for people who do not have a suitable charging option. Or, for people who cannot afford the time to wait at charging stations. So far, the so-called hydrogen economy has been just a pipe dream. A tax credit that was included into the recently enacted Inflation Reduction Act could change all of that. It could turbocharge the now tiny clean hydrogen industry to possibly become a multi-trillion-dollar industry within a few decades. The tax credit gives hydrogen producers $3 per kilogram to hydrogen generate using renewable energy and nuclear energy. The idea is to encourage hydrogen makers to create cleaner methods of synthesizing hydrogen. Although it is not widely known, hydrogen is currently used for making fertilizer. And it is used in a few other specialized industrial processes. But, the overall market for hydrogen is tiny compared to the markets for oil and natural gas. Still, hydrogen is seen as a replacement for fossil fuels in the future. This is especially true in shipping, aviation, and heavy industries like steelmaking. Hydrogen could also be used as an energy storage medium. The new tax credit could also catalyze a whole new hydrogen industry to be created. As things stand now in 2022, 98% of all hydrogen is made from fossil fuels. The new Inflation Reduction Act law will make carbon capture more economically feasible. It will also reduce the carbon emissions from hydrogen production. Government authorities expect a wave of new companies developing cleaner ways to produce hydrogen. The goal is to replace fossil fuels with hydrogen in certain industries. The new law targets 80% of hydrogen production to be powered by renewables by 2050. This kind of industry transition will require $7 trillion to $8 trillion between 2022 and 2050. By then, the hydrogen economy is projected to create $3 trillion in annual revenue. Fuel cells combine hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms to generate electricity. Battery electric trucks cannot be economical for long-haul trucking because the batteries needed to store enough energy for long-haul routes would be too heavy. Batteries large enough for long-haul trucking would also take too long to recharge. A fuel cell with a tank of hydrogen would weigh less. It would also occupy less space and could be refueled in a few minutes. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. But, it can only be found in compounds here on Earth. Most of the hydrogen on Earth is combined with oxygen to form water. Separating water into hydrogen and oxygen is particularly energy-intensive and expensive. The U.S. Department of Energy is trying to cut the cost of clean hydrogen to around $1 per kilogram within the next 10 years. The 2021 infrastructure law included $8 billion to create regional hydrogen hubs across the country. Considering both laws, the U.S. could develop a clean hydrogen economy in less than a decade. But, what do you think? Please press the like button and leave us a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Please share this video on social media. Thank you for watching.